Part 2. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 11. As if he was reborn, strange memories flooded his mind. Tao ran, dizzy, pinched himself hard to make sure he was not dreaming. She used a fruit knife to cut her finger. There was pain and blood. When she sucked on it, it still tasted fishy and sweet. And the flood of memories brought about waves of heartache, which was too real. Everything around her told her that she had really become Yechin. So, she had to complete the script according to what the charming female voice said before she could go back. She sighed. Yechin is indeed innocent, and her biggest mistake is probably her love and innocence. But when did this quality that should have been praised become something that deserved to be exploited and attacked by the desire for power? It's not her fault, it's just that some people have lost their humanity for their own selfish desires. Probably because of the environment in the entertainment industry, the touch of family affection, and Yechin's desire to survive when he was about to die, Tao Ran felt a little bit the same. If he could help a girl before he died, Tao Ran would be willing. Even if it's just a dream. This script, and the ending Yechin wanted, were not difficult for Tao Ran, who had been in the entertainment industry for many years. She closed her eyes, stroked Yechin's memory, and immersed herself in it. Now the plot development is not too bad. At this moment, Yechin was already very unhappy with the company because of his repeated requests to advance and retreat with the group members, but fortunately, there were still a few days left before Duan Jiao's bad live broadcast. There's still time. The memory also told her that she was currently in a hotel room in a different place. Yesterday she just recorded a variety show on local TV and then checked into this hotel. Tao Ran planned to get out of bed and wash his face, but he didn't feel it when he was lying down. When he sat up, he realized that he was very dizzy. Not to mention his limbs were limp, his whole body felt a little muddy, and he felt like he was hungover. But she just recalled that Yechin had been reading the script all night, and he had obviously not touched any alcohol. A bad premonition arose, and Tao Ran stumbled to the bathroom, feeling glad that he came at the right time. She was almost certain that she had been drugged. 9 times out of 10, it's sleeping pills or something like that. She thought of the fatal blow to Yechin in the plot, the photo of her sleeping with a male internet celebrity that was exposed on the internet. Could it be that tonight? Because of the traditional Chinese medicine, Yechin was unconscious. Is this the reason why Yechin was secretly photographed without knowing it? She tried to calm down, thinking that all she could do now was try her best to stay clear under the influence of the drug. While pouring cold water on his face, Tao Ran also drank gulps of tap water, thinking of diluting the medicine in his body. But I have to say that this medicine is too powerful. His consciousness became increasingly uncontrollable, and Tao Ran couldn't hold on anymore. When he left the bathroom, he accidentally slipped and fell. He put his elbow on the ground and bruised his skin. There was also a large bruise on his leg. The pain hit her, slightly waking her up. She almost rolled back to the bed. Find your phone and quickly open it. She originally planned to call Xiao Tian, the assistant who lived in the same hotel, but she caught a glimpse of an unread message, which was sent by Xiao Tian. The time was 10 minutes ago, and I asked, "Have you slept? Have you slept?" Asking this in the middle of the night? If you want something to happen, you must get straight to the point. If there's an emergency, you can call him from next door. And Yechin had been busy all day, and as an assistant, it was even more impossible for him to just say nonsense. After thinking about it, Tao Ran changed his mind. Xiao Tian, she can't believe it. Being in a foreign land, with no one to rely on. So. 110, just after entering the 3 numbers, before pressing them out, she changed her mind again. Seeing that her phone's battery was full, she exited the dialing page and turned on the camera after pressing mute. What's the use of calling the police? She didn't even know where the medicine was given, when it was given, who had done it, or who had given instructions. Moreover, the police may not be able to arrive before the other party takes action, right? If you want to avenge Yechin, you have to target the people who harmed her one by one. How about taking advantage of the situation? After all, what the other party wants is a future, and he won't risk being imprisoned if he gets dirty, so if he makes her unconscious, he can only secretly pose for a few photos, which will not cause any substantial harm to Yechin himself. Thinking of this, Taoran calmed down a little. She chose the desk 1 meter away, dragged her makeup box over, and placed her cell phone between 2 glass lotion bottles, leaving only a camera. In this way, the camera by the window can record everything from the door to the bedside. While she still had the last bit of energy left, she took a box of loose powder and poured a layer on the light-colored part of the printed carpet on both sides of the bed. Taoran couldn't stand any more and fell directly onto the bed. Not long after she went to bed, she vaguely heard someone knocking on the door, but she didn't answer. Soon, the door card made a beep sound. Opened. She asked herself in a daze, who could have a room card and be able to enter and leave Yechin's house freely? And there was obviously more than one person entering the room. When Taoran woke up again, half an hour had passed. Fortunately, she deliberately pressed the wound on her injured elbow under her body before falling asleep. The bursts of pain made her wake up quickly. She leaned over and looked over the bed. Sure enough, someone had entered the room. There were several faint footprints left on the powder on the carpet beside the bed. The person who came here was so guilty that he didn't notice anything. After regaining some strength, Taoran took his phone and checked the video, then sneered. As she guessed, the person who came was none other than the fresh-faced guy named Anan. He really didn't dare to do anything excessive to her. He only adjusted the lights and climbed onto her bed, then got close to her and posed for photos. I was probably scared because I had a ghost in my heart. I came and went in a hurry and left in about 5 minutes. But what made Taoran angry was the person who opened the door to let Anan in. As expected, it was Xiao Tian, Yechin's assistant for 2 years. Her earlier suspicions were correct. No wonder Yechin in the story suffered so much, and no wonder the other party was able to take pictures of Yechin's various real tricks. With such a white-eyed wolf following her around the clock, what kind of trap can you try to set for her? And this assistant Xiao Tian is the cousin of the group's youngest member Panya. Panya comes from a small village that is not wealthy. Seeing Panya's success, her relatives want to borrow her help, and it is she who brought Xiao Tian to the city. 2 years ago, when Yechin needed an assistant to do odd jobs, Panya recommended Xiao Tian. Yechin was easy to talk to, but when he saw Xiaoshan's quick hands and feet, he stayed with him. It's a pity that good intentions have become a donkey's liver and lungs. So what about that Nan? Who is behind him? Seeing as he looks like a human being, is well known in the industry, and has a rich second-generation girlfriend, why should he take such a big risk for himself? Who is it? What benefits were promised to him? Taoran disliked the fact that the bed was dirty, so he sat in a chair on the side and narrowed his eyes to plan. He only had more than 3 months to live, and he had to hurry up and go back to see a doctor, so he had to help Yechin solve the problem as quickly as possible. What should she do? Well, starting from this chapter, when the words police officer and police officer appear, for the sake of harmony, they will most likely be replaced by police officer and sheriff. Let me say hello to everyone first. I would like to emphasize again that this article is purely fictitious. Mom, I love you. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 12. Taoran was thinking about countermeasures. The reason why Yechin failed miserably was not only because he trusted the wolves around him, but also because he didn't even have a backer or helper. This must be resolved quickly. There were too many enemies, and Yechin's identity was not suitable for public appearances, so he had to find a helper. Taoran flipped through Yechin's phone and felt sorry for this silly girl. She didn't even have a serious good friend in these years. The best ones are the 4 teammates who are so ruthless. Taoran finally chose brother Yechin's number and dialed it. Yechin never reported good things to her family but not bad things, and her family didn't understand or help her much, which was why she was misunderstood by her brother in the end. But her brother and sister-in-law are not bad people. No matter what, brother Ye can always believe it. "Brother, I need your help," Taoran asked softly. "Can you take a few days off? I have something to do here." This is the first time Yechin has asked for help from his family, so brother Ye can't help it. He promised to come over within 2 days after finishing the matters at hand. To help Yechin fulfill her wish, the first obstacle is her assistant Xiao Tian. She had to clean up quickly. Before deleting the video he had just recorded on his phone, he uploaded it to the cloud for backup. Taoran quickly dialed 120 and Yao Yaoling, asking for help in a weak and helpless voice. Well, her first big drama after becoming Yechin is about to begin. The people behind the scenes are waiting to take action. The police car and ambulance arrived almost at the same time and then broke open the guest room door. The house was in a mess, with bottles and jars and many broken porcelain pieces on the floor. Everyone saw Yechin lying on the ground like that, with disheveled hair, pale face, and trembling. She was holding a piece of broken porcelain in her hand, her fingers were bloody, her tear-filled eyes were full of fear, her lips were trembling and she said, "Help me." Officers immediately cordoned off the entire floor and prohibited anyone from approaching the room. Xiota, who lives next door, was startled by the noise and followed him, but was also kept out. Upon seeing the situation, Oda felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Her faded face and slightly trembling body were somewhat similar to Yechin's, but she didn't understand that Yechin was fine when she and Anan left half an hour ago, but now, why was it like this? Was it attacked? Who did it? But, who can enter the room? Thinking of this, her feet suddenly felt weak, and she couldn't help but feel guilty. Could it be that she didn't close the door when she left, so she asked outsiders to come in? If so. Seeing the police officers busy walking in and out, Xiao Tian was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. Cold sweat soaked her back. She almost subconsciously backed away and picked up the phone to start dialing. Taoran's eyes were focused on Xiao Tian, guessing that she was either going to call the person behind the scenes to report the situation and ask for help, or she was going to question Anan. Yechin called the police for the reason of being drugged and attacked, so the police officers got down to business as soon as they arrived. While sealing off the scene, they also began to inspect the place where the crime occurred. When Yechin was being carried on a stretcher, Xiao Tian came belatedly wiping the sweat from his forehead. What's ridiculous is that her first reaction was not to care and take care of Yechin, but to work with the hotel manager to ask the police and the hospital to keep it secret on the grounds that Yechin is a celebrity and needs to protect her privacy. The hotel also took the initiative and sent security personnel to clear the elevator and arrange private passages. Taoran laughed at them inwardly. He, the victim, didn't even ask for this. Are they being a little too proactive? When Yechin was put into the ambulance by the police, a tube of blood was also taken away for testing. Xiao Tian saw this and wanted to die. She presented herself as an assistant and asked to follow the ambulance. "Xiao Tian, when the gangster entered the house, I called you loudly. Where were you at that time?" Taoran's understatement made all the police officers focus on Xiao Tian. "Call me? You didn't call me," Oda was confused. She did something wrong, so she never fell asleep. Did Yechin call her? She does not know. Shouted. Taoran's throat closed up, and when his voice came out again, it was a bit low and hoarse, aggrieved and frustrated. I shouted until my throat hurt, but you didn't make any move. Because of this, I had no choice but to call the police. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything even though I was separated by a wall. Are you sure you are in the room? How could you not hear it in the room? Or did you say you went out? Where have you been in the middle of the night? Xiao Tian panicked. This is not easy to answer. She did do bad things after all. With a little carelessness, she got in. Tao Ran sneered and looked at the police officer next to him. Miss Tian, our police here need your cooperation in the investigation. Please come over here. Two police officers came up and stood directly in front of Xiao Tian. In this way, Yaqin went to the hospital for a full body examination, while Xiao Tian was taken away to take notes. So when the hospital's injury examination report came out, Tao Ran was the first to get it after the police. Sheriff Huang, who was in charge of the case, personally took notes for Tao Ran. Tao Ran said that she was fine during the day, but soon after returning to the hotel, she became top-heavy and confused. She called for someone for a long time, but no one came. Later, she fell into a trance and found someone walking into the room. The man threw her to the ground and dragged her out, trying to kidnap her away. In her panic, she happened to grab a bottle and smashed it out. She didn't know if she hit the bad guy, but her yelling, fussing, and struggling finally scared him. The man ran away, and she escaped temporarily, and finally successfully called the police. Sheriff Huang discovered the footprints beside the bed at the scene. He had someone take them and confirmed that they were size 43 sneakers. Yaqin's blood sample also came out, and it turned out that he was indeed drugged. The dose of medicine is quite small. In addition, the injuries and bruises on Yaqin's palms, fingers, elbows, and knees all support what she said. Sheriff Huang had no doubts about this. But here comes the problem. All the food and drink in the room were checked, and even the water cups and mineral water bottles in the trash can were tested, but no trace of drugs was found. What's even more outrageous is that as soon as they arrived at the hotel, they asked for the hotel's surveillance video. However, several devices in the elevator and corridor were missing about 20 minutes of video. The hotel responded immediately, mechanical failure. Therefore, this simplest and most direct evidence does not exist at all. What a coincidence. Tao Ran couldn't help but sneer when he heard this. This shows that her guess is correct. This was the reason why Xiao Tian and the others were so confident that they dared to break into her room. This was also the fundamental reason why they later dared to expose the photos without fear of Yaqin's investigation. Tao Ran guessed it. This was one of the reasons why she called the police, just to use the help of the police officers to investigate. She lives in a high-end room in a star-rated hotel, and she can easily get the surveillance video, which is not something that just Xiota and the fresh man can do. The hotel did not cooperate with the police, but flatly lied. It was clearly a conspiracy. Therefore, the person behind this must have some power or have a good relationship with the hotel. Tao Ran let out a breath. Her predictions were all right, and this hotel was not innocent. Tao Ran silently added another name to the notebook in his mind. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 13. Sheriff Huang is calling to request other videos from the hotel to investigate suspicious persons in the hotel. My assistant is responsible for everything I eat and drink all day long. If someone administers drugs, they probably have to do it from my assistant's side, Tao Ran added. Sheriff Huang understood. He had already had the same suspicion. Generally, artists and assistants have a good relationship, but when Yaqin was attacked, the assistant arrived later than the police. It was strange no matter how you looked at it. Moreover, the hotel did not use the universal room card, and there was no record of opening the door. There was no sign of violent opening of the door, which was really strange. Then, the door with dual room cards can only be opened by the room card in Xiaoda's hand. Don't worry, Miss Yet. We will ask Miss Tian carefully and carefully. Taoran took photos of Yechin's injury report and blood report one by one and uploaded them to the cloud. The company's manager, Sister Cai, also arrived. There was a trace of anger on Sister Cai's anxious and concerned face. She couldn't care less about her own artist, but she was also dissatisfied that Yechin skipped the company and reported the matter directly to the police. Such a big mess involves a company assistant. If it is not handled well, even the company will be involved. How can she not be angry? Taoran was so good at acting that he looked at Sister Cai with a bit of fear and flinching, which made Chief Wang's cold and scrutinizing eyes stay on Sister Cai for a few seconds longer. Are you okay? After Sheriff Huang walked out, Sister Cai suppressed the hairy feeling in her heart. Taoran's eyes turned red, he sniffed heavily and answered the question incorrectly. Sister Cai, is it because the company is dissatisfied with me? Sister Cai was stunned. What did you say? What do you mean? Then I'll tell you the truth. Taoran leaned back and took off his hat. Is it because the company is dissatisfied with me and wants to warn me or teach me a lesson, or is it trying to get rid of me before it attacks me? Is the person who attacked me in the middle of the night sent by the company? She simply struck first and beat me up. You kid, what nonsense are you talking about? How is that possible? How can you say such things? Sister Cai was so frightened that she jumped up. Taoran took his time. The company is responsible for my food and drink schedule, and the people around me are also appointed by the company. Even this hotel is arranged by the company. Those people have obviously planned it in advance. They know my schedule and the time when I will return to the hotel. They are careful. Drug me. He accurately touched my room, opened the door easily, and quickly deleted the video afterwards. However, Xiao Tian, who lived next door to me, didn't know anything about such a big movement in my room. As my assistant, Xiao Tian was still in the police. Police officers and ambulances arrived later. These made me shudder. Taoran shed a few tears at the right time. Xiao Tian is someone close to me and a member of the company. I can't help but think about it. Apart from the company, I really can't think of anyone else who can know my whereabouts so well and at the same time attack me easily. And the police chief people asked me who I had been unhappy with recently, and I only thought of the company. So Sister Cai, if I say that this matter has nothing to do with the company, even if I believe it, I'm afraid the police chiefs won't believe it. Sister Cai was stunned and shuddered. She finally realized what Chief Wang's cold eyes meant just now. When she came here, she was actually very impatient and a little angry. When something happened to Yechin, she originally thought that Yechin had offended someone. She originally wanted to warn Yechin that no matter what happened last night, enough was enough. The most important thing was not to pursue the blame but to quickly take the initiative to close the case and settle the matter. Calling someone to attack her in the middle of the night would not only easily spread rumors that would harm her personal future, but would also easily lead to the company's poor protection and other issues, which would be of no benefit to anyone. But when Yechin said this, the nature of the matter completely changed. The company is suspected of targeting its own artists. Once it is involved in such lawsuits and investigations, regardless of whether it is true or false, it will directly fall into the quagmire of public opinion and reputation. Standing at the top of the entertainment industry, what you are most afraid of is the stigma that is unpleasant and difficult to remove, especially those involved in darkness who are not allowed to go to the bright side. If you don't do it right, you will become a target to scare the monkeys. Coupled with the pressure from competitors and pressure from capital, the blow to the company may be fatal. Sister Cai thought about the doubts raised by Yechin just now, which were enough to open a case for thorough investigation and cause the company to suffer a big loss. If nothing else, the stock price will plummet. The loss is not a small amount. With a cold sweat running down her back, she also instantly realized that not only must she not get angry when dealing with the little girl in front of her, she and the company must also be coaxed. Kinkin, how could you have such an idea? The company has never. Sister, the company's attitude towards me has changed drastically recently, hasn't it? I've also heard rumors that I'm going to become an outcast of the company. No matter who said it, it's just a rumor. Sister Cai's face turned green and white with anger and hatred. For the first time, she squatted down beside Yechin's bed. Kinkin, you are the artist that the company and Sister Cai value most. How could the company give up on you? Sister Cai has promised to the company's senior management before that she will make you an international superstar. The company has cultivated you over the years. Don't forget to value me. Isn't that right? You didn't say these words to those police officers just now, did you? Not yet. It's not that there isn't, it's that it's not yet. Sister Cai's anger rose again after she was relieved. Kinkin, don't worry. Sister Cai will definitely make the decision for you in this matter. Listening to what you said, Xiaotian does have a problem. Sister Cai will not let her go lightly. The hotel will also let the company negotiate. You have suffered such a big loss, and I am saying that the company will definitely help you get it back. Sister Cai treats you as her own sister, and will fight for your maximum rights and compensation. You have to believe in Sister Cai. Taoran neither spoke nor looked at Sister Cai. Instead, he lowered his head and grabbed the corners of the quilt with his hands. Yechin's lack of response made Sister Cai really unable to let go. Kinkin, you were frightened and hurt your body. Sister Cai feels very sad. But for your future, for the company, and for Sister Cai's sake, this matter is the most important thing. Or if you want something, you can ask me. Come out, Sister Cai will come forward for you and help you fight for your greatest rights. Taoran smiled inwardly. Done. She went through so much trouble that she even didn't hesitate to use Yechin's reputation to call the police. What she wanted was these few promises from the company. The reason why that silly girl Yechin lost was not only because she was alone and could not compete with others, but also because she had lost even her biggest supporter and reliance. The fact was that her defeat was doomed from the day she came into conflict with the company for the group. Taoran saw the crux of the tragedy. Yechin, who knew that no one was powerless, had to bring the company back first, whether he wanted revenge or self-protection. But in Yechin's memory, she called Sister Cai 3 times yesterday. Sister Cai only answered once and hung up in a hurry after only 30 seconds of talking. So Taoran knew that the company was already very impatient with Yechin. Maybe the role of the third female lead has been overturned. Therefore, if you want the company to stay in the same boat as Yechin, you must use some means. Taoran didn't want to beg in a low voice, but he also knew that it would have little effect. So do extraordinary things in extraordinary times. She wants the company to take the initiative to visit her. But because of their superior status, if they want the company to retreat and seek peace, they will only suffer a little injustice. Only then did Taoran take advantage of the scheme, and instead of releasing the evidence, he passed the blame to the company. Taoran, who has been in the entertainment industry for many years, knows very well that the fear of sailing a large ship like the company is never the wind and waves, but the fear of having its operating license revoked. No, it's all part of the plan. Sister Cai, who firmly held the position of manager in the company, took the initiative to drive more than 100 kilometers to Taoran City in the middle of the night. She quickly took a stand and made her attitude clear. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 11:11. Chapter 14. Sister Cai saw that Yechin had not spoken for a long time, so she could only persuade him with kind words. In order to settle the matter as soon as possible, she began to offer sweethearts one after another. I'll be honest, last night's incident has absolutely nothing to do with the company, but the company values you and your reputation, so this matter must end here. You have been wronged this time, and the company did not protect you, which is indeed a dereliction of duty. Representative Sister, the company apologizes to you. If you want anything, just tell me directly and I will help you arrange it. Didn't you say you wanted to take a vacation? Taking advantage of this injury, Sister Cai gave you a notification to arrange for you to rest for a few days. You will not be restricted from moving. You can go home or travel. Okay. There are a few announcement fees and advertising fees. Sister Cai will arrange to pay them in advance for you. How about you go abroad for a trip? The company will pay for the air tickets and hotel fees. Staying far away makes it easier to cover up the matter in front of you. Here at the hotel, the claims are all taken care of by Sister Cai. Those announcements you made just happened to arrange for your sisters. Don't worry, Sister Cai will take good care of them. What do you think? No. This is absolutely not okay. Sister, you don't need to go abroad or take a vacation. You know, right now I just want to perform the movie I'm working on. That role is what Yechin wants and cannot lose it. Taoran stared closely at Sister Cai's expression. Sure enough, a trace of uneasiness flashed on the other person's face, and after a flash of eyes he smiled. In the past few days, the company has collected several books for investment. You can take them to take a look during the holiday. That book in your hand, it's just the third female lead, but the company's 2 books, including the female lead, haven't been decided yet. Sister Cai thinks you can give it a try. Taoran also laughed. Yechin had only made 2 guest appearances in film and television dramas before, but now she suddenly had a big deal. He was either coaxing her or having no other choice. Taoran knew that his previous guess was most likely correct. Yechin's role as the third female lead had been snatched away and became Feng Manman's. No need. I know how much I weigh. I have been working on the current script for several months, and I want to do it well. I just want to play the third female lead who promotes the development of the story. Taoran's voice was not loud, but he was extremely determined. Now that she is here, of course Yechin will take back what she cares about. And, it's a really good role. Can't miss it? Can. But what? Is it true that the company has found someone else to replace me? As rumored, Taoran leaned back and distanced himself from Sister Cai again. How is that possible? Sister Cai smiled awkwardly and nodded quickly. The role was decided for you before, and it will naturally be you after that. The company has always valued you. Sister Cai patted Yechin's hand. Don't worry, since you want this third female role, it's still yours. Sister, I was willful earlier. Taoran smiled obediently. I will listen to the company's words from now on. I will not travel. During the next period of time, I will recuperate in the company dormitory, just to strengthen my relationship with my sisters. Sister, since you have given me a holiday, can you connect my sisters with me? Let's take the holidays together. It's fun to advance and retreat together. You think well. Sister Cai felt relieved. How could she refuse such a small request? Sister, let's make arrangements. For the next while, all activities of your group will be suspended. With them taking care of you, sister can rest assured this way, you won't be afraid of someone being quick to talk and leaking something. Thank you, sister. Good boy. Let's talk to the sheriff later. On the other side, Yechin's assistant Xiao Tianzheng insisted that the reason why she did not hear Yechin calling for help immediately was because she fell asleep. She suspected that she had also been given sleeping pills. It must be an illegitimate meal. They followed Yechin to the hotel. After knocking me out, they waited for an opportunity to get the room card from me and wanted to kidnap Yechin. After reviewing it several times, Xiaotian was of the same caliber. It was also at this time that all investigations were stopped. Sister Cai, on behalf of Yechin, took the initiative to withdraw the report with the word misunderstanding. The upper management of the hotel had also been alarmed for a long time, hoping that Yechin would put an end to the matter and offered to negotiate with them to resolve it privately. Chief Huang was very responsible and even had a private chat with Yechin, asking her if she really decided to stop here. He said that they were checking everyone who entered the hotel tonight and were arranging for people to take fingerprints. This did not mean that the clues had been completely lost. Yechin showed a hint of helplessness. When you are in the world, you can't help yourself. I am just a small artist and I have to listen to the company. What's the use of catching that Nan? They will definitely make him a scapegoat. She still couldn't find out who was behind it. Taoran became emotional and his eyes turned red. If the case is withdrawn, the record will not be closed, right? Sheriff Huang raised his eyebrows and said, after you report the crime, a record will be kept. It will not be sold. Is this girl implying that she is not trying to settle the matter, but is temporarily compromising? It is a blessing to the people to have such a conscientious and responsible police chief like you. Can I have your phone number? Taoran smiled lightly, with a bit of pleading in his sincere eyes. Chief Huang was even more certain that this girl had other plans, so he naturally agreed. In this way, Yechin, who was originally in a different place, temporarily interrupted all his trips and returned. While the company was secretly investigating the attack, it began to claim compensation from the hotel. Sister Cai stayed behind to deal with the aftermath, while Yechin, under the protection of the company's dedicated personnel, took the car back to the company apartment overnight. The 1.5-hour drive was enough for Yechin to squint and make some careful calculations. Seeing that she was almost there, she didn't forget to stop the car and have a big bowl of steaming chicken noodle soup. At this moment, Taoran completely regarded herself as Yechin. After eating and drinking, she was able to meet those good sisters with full energy. She wanted to give back double what they had done to Yechin. Downstairs in the apartment, Sister Zhu, an upper-level member of the company, was already waiting with several other girls from the group. It was the coldest days of the year, and the girls were shivering in the cold wind. But as soon as the car door opened, before Yechin got out of the car, the girls rushed forward to greet her warmly. Taoran only found it funny. The acting skills of these people are really stiff and awkward. They may have forgotten that a few days ago they used cold violence to force Yechin to go against the company. The enthusiasm now is really off-putting. 4 pairs of anxious and nervous eyes stared at Yechin, asking her what happened. Since we are all good sisters, you should first care about where I am injured and whether it is serious, instead of asking about the ins and outs of the matter first. Taoran kindly pointed out the shortcomings of their acting skills. Since you're going to act, it's better to be careful. At least there's some care in your eyes and movements. Or maybe they're like plastic sisters, right, Sister Zhu? Taoran shook off the hands on his arms, ignored the awkward expressions of the 4 people, and hugged Sister Zhu, who came forward. Look, this Sister Zhu obviously represents that the company really cares about her. At least she has a coat in her hand. This is right. Thanks to Xiaoao for the 10,000 rewards, thanks to Glorious Years, Yaoruwei, the book Friend's Tale number 2576 and the book Friend's Tale number 22955 baby for the rewards. Thanks to all the babies who voted. Thank you, love you. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 15. Sister Zhu glanced at the hypocritical foursome and felt bored for a moment. She subconsciously smiled at Yechin and responded, Kinkan knows acting very well. No wonder she always wants to get roles. Don't worry, the company will arrange for you to work in film and television in the future. Developed. Most of Chaoran's body weight rested on Sister Zhu. How could Sister Zhu, who had thin arms and legs, be able to bear it? When she saw Duan Jiao and the others rolling their eyes and standing with their chests crossed, they couldn't help but cursed. Are the eyes white? Are they all dead? Didn't you see that Kinkin's leg was injured? Why don't you hurry up and help support her? Kinkin is the backbone of the group. If she can't be raised well, the four of you will be doomed. Kinkin's hands and feet are injured, she needs dressing, and her movement is inconvenient. You must take good care of her these days, especially in daily life, and be considerate to her. If I knew who bullied her, no one would be able to take the risk for the next year. The four girls were almost stunned. Although Yaqin was favored, it was in the past. Didn't the company dislike her recently? How could he be injured and become a king? They are not servants, so why do they have to take care of her? Why? Sister Zhu. Sister Zhu. The four of them and Yaqin spoke at the same time. Shut up, Sister Zhu glanced at the four people and said, let Kinkin speak. The four people were stopped in place by the involuntary words. I'm tired and want to rest. Okay, okay. Kinkin, Sister Zhu has arranged for the 501 across from you. If you need anything, just ask her to call someone. If you need anything, just tell your little sisters. Thank you, sister. You've worked hard. Go back and rest quickly. Okay. Sister will come see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, call me. Before Sister Zhu left, she didn't forget to poke Panya and others in the forehead with her finger, and reiterated that they should take good care of Yaqin. There was a strange atmosphere in front of the apartment door. Although the sisterhood between us is like a plastic flower that has been weathered for many years, it looks good on the surface and fragile on the inside, but it still has to be acted. At the signal of the other three people, Panya came up and held Yaqin up and walked towards the building. This building is owned by the company. Their boss was very discerning in his early years. He bought this old factory building when the entertainment industry was just starting to emerge. He also imitated the country next door and unified the management of artists, so he demolished the old building and built office buildings and small apartment buildings respectively. The people living here are company artists, trainees, and staff. From security to sanitation, there are dedicated personnel in charge. Yaqin's group was in a 3-bedroom apartment on the 5th floor. After forming the group, the company arranged for all 5 of them to live together in order to promote the so-called unity and cohesion within them. Duan Jiao and Feng Manman were both high-spirited and unwilling to accept the status quo. They always got along and lived in the same room. Of the 3 remaining people, Yaqin was the best to talk to. Panya had always been the most afraid of arguing because her family background was so poor. Therefore, Yan Xiao, the rich second generation, was not polite and claimed that she was not used to living with others' room. Therefore, Yaqin and Panya were in the same dormitory. Sister Kinkin, where is Xiao, Xiao Tian? Panya smiled, but her lips were trembling. Xiao Tian didn't reply. As soon as she entered the house, Panya couldn't wait to ask about her cousin. Without. Why? I don't know, he was taken away by Yao Yaoling. Sister, Xiao Tian has always been honest. She must be innocent. You have to believe her. Can you tell the police officer? Don't pinch me. It hurts. Chaoran slapped Panya's hand away. When did I say she was innocent? How do you know she is innocent if you don't even know what happened? And whether I believe her or not, what does it matter? Since she is innocent, why are you panicking? If you don't trust, you can call the police station yourself to explain. No silver here? Pena, as expected, was also involved. I'm afraid I can't pick any of these four people. But sister. Panya climbed onto Yechin again, but was pushed away by Duan Jiao, who came up from behind. Look, you're not serious. I'll take care of Kinkin. You go wash your face. Duan Jiao kept winking at Panya. If this idiot continues to ask questions like this, he will alert the enemy. Panya bit her lip and went to the bathroom, but her hand was still pressing the phone repeatedly. Tao Ran chuckled. He couldn't get in touch with Xiao Tian. Are you anxious? From today on, anxiety will become the main theme of your life. Yechin, what are you laughing at? Duan Jiao saw her smile and her heart went numb. Thinking about the days to come, I'm so happy. That's why I want to smile. Yechin smiled brightly at Duan Jiao. What? The company will probably send out a notice soon that our group is on leave. In the next period of time, all our trips will be cancelled. Impossible, Duan Jiao, whose resources have been so good recently, her fans have soared, and her popularity has risen, almost jumped. It's true. Jiao, you can't go to the Ace Variety show the day after tomorrow, and you can't do the dance you've been preparing for half a month. You're talking nonsense. Duan Jiao grabbed Yechin's wrist. Could it be that you said something to the company and they? Jiao, why do you miss me so much? Tao Ran's acting skills were always natural. When he felt aggrieved, his eyes were filled with mist. We are all good sisters. How could I do that? Then why were you laughing just now? I'm really happy from the bottom of my heart. Taking this opportunity, the five of us can live together again, bringing us closer together, sharing joys and sorrows, staying together through thick and thin, and comforting each other. Why? Duan Jiao couldn't listen anymore, and couldn't hear Yechin's sincerity, so she interrupted directly. There has to be a reason. What is the reason? Something happened to me in the middle of the night. You have to believe that the company is for our safety and future. If you want to blame those who attacked me in the middle of the night. Duan Jiao, who had been asking questions, suddenly became speechless, with a panic on her face. I want to call Sister Cai. Duan Jiao felt in her pocket to find her cell phone, and then rushed to her room in a hurry. Tao Ran snorted coldly. She deliberately suddenly revealed the words attack me, but no one present showed surprise, and until now, no one had asked her why she was so injured that she couldn't walk. It can be seen that they already know how much happened a few hours ago. But how do they know? After the incident, Xiao Tian was taken away for questioning by Sheriff Wang's people, and later controlled and interrogated by Sister Cai's people. The phone had long been taken away for investigation. Panya and Xiao Tian could only have been there when she first called the police. There have been contacts. In other words, it was impossible for Xiao Tian to know the story she later told the police, so even if Xiao Tian contacted Panya, he only knew a little about it. And the company was only thinking about keeping it secret. Just before Sister Zhu left, she quietly told her not to tell anyone what happened last night. It can be seen that Sister Zhu didn't tell a few people about her attack. They know too much. Then, there is only one possibility left: someone in the hotel leaked the so-called sneak attack. The hotel has their people, which explains why the surveillance video disappeared. That's fine. Let's clean it up together. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 16. There were already two people in a frenzy, and Tao Ran set his sights on Feng Manman again. Before Feng Manman could react, Tao Ran grabbed her arm. Manman, please bear with me. We won't be suspended for too long. After all, I will join the group soon. Join the group? What group? The scene for my third female lead has been decided. In 2 days the crew will come and sign the contract with me. No, Feng Manman's hands were shaking a little. Impossible. It's obviously decided that it's her. She has even met the director. Tao Ran looked at Feng Manman's beautiful face and the color drained away in an instant. Sister Cai said that. Yes. Sister Cai encouraged me to act well. I have been waiting for a long time, please congratulate me. Feng Manman couldn't help but laugh, so she also started to reach for her phone in her pocket, then pressed the phone and ran outside. Tao Ran chuckled. Then, her gaze rested on the face of Yan Xiao, who had always had no sense of presence. Yan Xiao's hands were too busy. For just a quarter of an hour, she had been holding her phone tightly and busy sending WeChat messages to others. But this time, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Tisk. Tao Ran squinted at her. In Yechin's story, the only person who did not frame her head-on was Yan Xiao, a second-generation rich man who only wanted to prove his abilities when he entered the industry. But can she be innocent? Tonight, the one who has the ability, power, or financial connections to delete the surveillance video in the hotel at the first opportunity, or has an acquaintance in the hotel, there is a high probability that Yan Xiao will be the only one among these four. Tao Ran was only 60–70% sure of this point, but now Yan Xiao's unusual busyness could give him some clues. Just when a call came in, Yan Xiao's phone lit up. But she didn't answer the phone, but subconsciously raised her eyes to look at Yechin. Their eyes met, but Yan Xiao felt guilty and turned off the phone at the first reaction. Xiao! Help me! Yechin waved to Yan Xiao. No. Just as Yan Xiao was about to refuse, the phone he had just pressed lit up again. The next moment she was distracted, Yechin had already grabbed her arm. Xiao, I need your help with something. Ah! Oh, Yan Xiao hurriedly pressed the call button again. Who is calling you this early in the morning? If you are in such a hurry, there must be something urgent. Why don't you answer it first? No, it's a harassing phone call, right? It seems not. Tao Ran suddenly reached out and grabbed the phone in Yan Xiao's hand. Yan Xiao didn't expect that Yechin would use such force to grab it, but she was also panicked. Her hand shook and she failed to catch it. The phone fell to the ground with a snap. It was at this moment that Tao Ran saw clearly that what was flashing on the phone screen was not numbers but words. The caller has a name. It's not a harassing call, it's someone from your phone book. Yan Xiao was completely panicked. While squatting down to pick up the phone, she pushed Yechin out. Tao Ran slammed into the door and made a bang sound. The bewildered Yan Xiao showed his panic, while Tao Ran stood up again and came closer. Who is it? Yan Xiao turned around, holding the phone close to her chest. No, you saw it wrong. Show me. Roll. Yan Xiao pushed Yechin again, then turned pale and ran into her room. Panya just came back and saw this scene, but she didn't dare to look at Yechin at all, and followed Yan Xiao into the house. Then Yan Xiao's room made a click sound and was actually locked. Tao Ran sneered again. Wrong. What did you see wrong? Did you misunderstand that there was a call coming in? Or did you read the wrong Chinese characters? Whose phone number can't be made known to oneself? But can Panya know? Who can believe that the mysterious phone call at this time has nothing to do with Yechin? So sneaky, how could it be a phone call that could be seen in the light? Tao Ran was in a good mood as he watched the four good sisters coming in and out one by one, staying up late at night, each holding a phone or secretly talking, or quietly sending messages. We are all good sisters, so naturally we should advance and retreat together, and suffer together, right? She did not go back to her room, but simply sat down on the sofa in the living room, admiring these clowns' behavior while continuing to exert a sense of oppression. She also took out her cell phone. She just saw the name on Yan Xiao's phone, Wan Yan. In Yaqin's memory, this Wan Yan was Yan Xiao's best friend and a wealthy daughter. The five of them were invited to attend the annual meeting of Wanjia Group last year. Miss Wan, a lady from a famous family, why aren't you sleeping this early in the morning? Everything going on in the hotel tonight may have something to do with Yan Xiao, so Wan Yan is also a participant? So Chaoran checked the hotel for tonight. Thanks to the power of technology and the development of information technology. In just a few seconds, the corporate structure of tonight's hotel appeared before our eyes. The hotel is really named Wan. Belongs to Wanpeng Group. On the shareholder chart, Chaoran saw Wan Yan's name. Gee, here's the sixth largest shareholder. Right? That's right, in such a big hotel, the surveillance video is gone even if it's not there. This is the crux. It was precisely because Yaqin called the police and caused such a big fuss that the hotel suddenly fell into a passive position, or there was a possibility of being involved in the case, so it must have started a self-examination. At this moment, Wan Yan must be roasting on the fire due to family pressure. Only then did Yan Xiao make phone calls to her left and right. As for Yan Xiao, it was even more uncomfortable. She had to worry about being found out, and she also had to worry about being discovered by Yaqin. What's more important is that although Yan Xiao is a rich second generation, she was born to a younger mother and is not favored at home. This is why she always wanted to prove herself. If this matter was brought to the Yan family by the Wan family, her status in the family would be even more difficult. If she doesn't do it right, her little mother will also be implicated. She must be in a lot of trouble now, so she is so full of flaws. Therefore, none of Yaqin's four teammates is good. Each of the four people pushed Yaqin, stepped on Yaqin to climb up, took away everything that belonged to Yaqin, and even covered Yaqin with dirt, ruined her family, and even ate her human blood steamed buns. Okay, it really works. Since all four of us have a share, let's clean it up together. Chaoran dialed Sister Cai's number. Kinkan, I was just about to call you. I have already negotiated with them at the hotel. They are also very sorry about what happened tonight and they are willing to compensate. They are willing to pay 800,000 yuan in compensation. I hope this can happen. So far, we have kept it completely confidential. I think it's okay, and you haven't been seriously injured. To avoid causing unnecessary rumors, we'd better end it quickly and let the matter rest in peace. No, Chaoran interrupted sharply. Just want to spend 800,000 on yourself? What about dreaming? Sister, this is what I originally wanted to say when I called you. Tell the hotel that the compensation of 800,000 yuan will be settled. That is a fantasy. My life is almost gone. Give me 800,000 yuan and send it away as a beggar? My life plus hush money is only worth 800,000 yuan. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 17. Chaoran felt that since every disaster had to be dealt with, it would be better to start with the hotel. Just look at how thick it can be cut with this knife. It's best to kill the opponent bloody in one go. So she didn't even give Sister Cai a chance to interrupt, so she kept saying angrily. I'm staying in their hotel. Do they have security obligations? They let the kidnappers into my room. Did they neglect their duty? Just imagine if I was really kidnapped in their hotel tonight, would they be the first person besides the kidnappers? The responsible party? They even lost the surveillance video. How could it be such a coincidence? Is this another dereliction of duty? Then do I still have reason to suspect that they are accomplices with the kidnappers? If so, what should be their responsibilities? If I continue to pursue the case, what will happen to them? I file a complaint with the Consumers Association, or I go to the police station to call the police. Which one can they bear? Sister, Please listen to me. Even if an ordinary person has an accident in their hotel, they will have to pay millions in compensation, right? Not to mention that I am still somewhat of a public figure, right? How come my life is so bad? So worthless, am I such a small person? Also, I live in an executive suite, and the security is so bad, let alone the ordinary rooms on ordinary floors. If this matter spreads, who will dare to stay in their hotel in the future? Come on, soon forget about closing down. I settled the matter for the sake of the company's reputation, but it was not my intention. If I change my mind and file a lawsuit, it would be a sure win. By then, they will not only have to pay compensation. If their reputation is bad, the losses they will face may be incalculable. Of course, if they really collude with the kidnappers, they may have to face a thorough investigation by the authorities or be imprisoned. So, Sister CAI, 800,000, what is this but just sending beggars away? Who do they look down on? Just look down on me, but also look down on the company? Look down on the power of public opinion? Look down on the judiciary? This matter can be big or small. My willingness to withdraw the case is already the biggest step back. If their sincerity is only 800,000 yuan, it is a joke. It is a slap in the face, not compensation. I will not accept it. On the contrary, I am still very angry. Sister CAI, since the company wants to make the decision for me, its stance should be tougher. Otherwise, they will bully us as weak persimmons. Think about it, don't you think about it? Kinkin, what do you mean? When the words were spoken to this extent, Sister CAI could only go along with it. She originally planned to settle the matter as quickly as possible, but she didn't expect Yechin to be unexpectedly tough this time. 800,000 is indeed not much, how about 2 million? The asking price of 3 million should be about the same. Kinkin, I'll help you negotiate. How much do you think is appropriate? I think 330 million. Taoran added a zero to the end of Sister CAI's number in a loud voice, and a gasp came from the other end of the phone. You can tell me exactly what I just said. The compensation is at least 30 million. As Taoran said this, he glanced at the half-open bathroom and Yan Xiao's bedroom door. This is too much. 800,000 turned into 30 million, but she dared to speak. Not much. Sister CAI and the company have worked hard. If I get the money, I am willing to give the company half and half, Taoran said with a smile on his face. She just wanted the lion to open his mouth. If you don't play big, how can you cause trouble? If you don't play bigger, how can you make those people nervous and scared? If you don't play bigger, how can you let them play badly? Killing him with one blow is not terrible, but having a knife hanging above his head is painful. That Wan Yan also needs to be dealt with. Relying on their family background and abusing their power, a good girl's reputation and future have been ruined by these methods. How can they take advantage of her? 800,000? What kind of? They, the daughters of wealthy families, all have more than this amount of money to spend during the Chinese New Year, right? There has to be a number that they can't play in one go. She wanted to see how Yan Xiao, who was used to throwing money at people, could continue to play. Is their circle of wealthy people still willing to continue to be crazy with her? Kinkin. Sister CAI hesitated. Sister, please talk first, my head hurts too much. I want to take a rest. Taoran hung up the phone. But in front of her, the four people who were busy just now were all standing in front of her. Her voice was not quiet, and the four people in the room had originally focused their attention on her, so as soon as she opened her mouth, she attracted all of them. Then, they heard something crazy. They're going crazy. 30 million? Who will pay for this? Who can afford it? But if they don't come out, Will pulling out the carrots and bringing out the mud eventually involve them? All four of them were trembling. Look at Yechin, who is lying comfortably on the chaise longue and drinking soda water. She looks like she has a headache. The company has become her tool, so arrogant. You asked for 30 million. Isn't that too high? Yan Xiao's mouth twitched. Won't. It's just a little thing, isn't it? Huh, Yechin stared at Yan Xiao with wide eyes. How do you know what happened tonight is a trivial matter? I haven't told you what happened, right? Sister Cai and Sister Zhu both asked me to keep it a secret. How did you know about it? Do you have a wide network of contacts? Yan Xiao was startled. These questions caused her face to turn pale instantly. She barely managed to stand upright by holding onto the single sofa, and said with a smile on her face, "Didn't I hear you talking on the phone? The 800,000 yuan thing that Sister Cai said is definitely not a big deal. You have bad ears? Didn't you hear me? Someone wanted to kidnap me? I almost died. Is this a big case that even the hotel owner might be imprisoned? And I'm talking about 30 million, not 10,000. I. Yan Xiao glanced at Duan Jiao for help. Duan Jiao immediately responded, "Okay, you're in a bad mood, why are you taking your anger out on Xiao?" Xiao just walked out and couldn't hear everything. It's normal. I didn't say she was abnormal, you did. Taoran smiled. Duan Jiao is the mastermind and backbone of these four people. She is the most unwilling person in the group. She is the one who has been instigating and uniting the four people to rebel against Yechin. She is also the one who has benefited the most after Yechin fell. Yechin hated her the most. This person cannot be spared lightly. What on earth requires 30 million to solve? This amount is scary this time. It was Feng Manman who changed the subject. Tell us. We'll help you find a way. It's because I'm a good sister that I'm telling you that someone tried to kidnap me last night, sneaked into my room, and injured me. If I hadn't been lucky, something big would have happened. Not only did the hotel have security problems, but it also had surveillance. They're all lost. Now I only have two options left, calling the police or claiming compensation. What do you think I should do? Since it's natural to make a claim. Yeah, so I opened 30 million. I don't think it's much. Sisters, what do you think? The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 18. 30 million, isn't that much? When the four people heard this, they all just wanted to spit out blood. Mom! How dare you mention it? Isn't that much? Who do you want to scare to death? Pena could hardly close her mouth. 30 million? Can you buy a big house in the big capital? In the past 6 months, Pena has been thinking about buying a house. The family provided for her to learn dancing, so she naturally had to serve the family when she got ahead. Now her brothers were waiting to buy a house and get married, and they were all urging her to get money. But she is the most confused in the group and earns the least. Looking at the scenery, she barely made more than 1 million in income last year. Compared with ordinary people, this annual salary of more than 1 million is quite a lot, but her expenses are huge. The poorer she is, the more she has low self-esteem, and the more low self-esteem she has, the more she doesn't want to be looked down upon by others, so she strives to have the same spending standards as the other four members of the group, including private cosmetics and various beauty expenses, so it's hard to save money. The expenses were so high that she only saved a total of more than 200,000 yuan by the end of last year. If you want to buy a house, you still don't have enough money. Now when she heard Yechin open her mouth to say 30 million, she felt that she was more sour than lemons. What about you? Do you think I want more? Yechin asked the other three people. The three of them nodded of course. Yan Xiao asked Wan Yan to help delete a short section of the hotel surveillance. If something goes wrong now, the hotel and Wan Yan will definitely ask them for any amount of money they pay. So the money that went into Yaqin's pocket would eventually have to be paid out by them. If it's 800,000, it's just a drop in the bucket, but if it's 30 million, even the four of them can't come up with a third of it. Can they not be nervous? Can you not be afraid? Kinkan, this money is very hot to hold, you can't ask for so much. Sister Cai said 800,000, she must have considered it. You'd better not offend someone who can open a big hotel and has great wealth and power. It will affect your future. The company and Sister Cai also have to be human beings. It's not good for you to be like this. And you want so much with just one mouth. It seems that you love money and are snobbish. It will not sound good if it is spread out, and it will have an impact on your reputation. With such a large sum, they will definitely reject it. Don't offend the other party. If the other party refuses to pay even 800,000. The more they talked, the more excited they became. Enough. Yaqin smiled. Then you haven't thought that if something happens to me, the group will be over? I have promised to share resources with you. What will you do if something happens to me? What if the hotel is really the conspiracy party of the kidnappers? If you don't teach them a lesson, what if they what about taking action next time? What if they take action against you? You are so strange. We are obviously one and the same, so why do you want to speak for the hotel's fault party? For just a moment, I thought you and the hotel were both accomplices of the kidnappers. The four of them shut their mouths at the same time, and Pan Ya, who was still worried about Xiao Tian, slipped and almost fell down. I don't dare to speak anymore, I really don't dare. Several people stared at Yaqin for a few seconds, confirming that she was just saying casually, and then gradually calmed down. The cold started from the soles of their feet, and they were careful. Kinkan, you are joking again. Feng Manman faked a smile on her face. We sisters are naturally of the same mind. Diddy. Several text message alerts sounded at the same time. The company's work group issued a notice that their entire group will suspend all schedules for the next 10 days. Any trace of luck that the four of them had originally had disappeared. At that moment, the faces of the four people were darker than the bottom of the pot. They attacked Yaqin for the sake of their future. Why did it feel like it was counterproductive now? Yaqin is dying, why do they still have to sit with her? For a moment, the four people used their swords at Yaqin one after another. The company's decision, you see what I do, Taoran faced several people generously, and the uglier those resentful little faces became, the more comfortable she felt. There is new information in the group. Sister Zhu's previous instructions directly became a written request to be published. The group just took advantage of these few days to cultivate cohesion. Everyone took care of Yaqin in life and tried to let Yaqin recover from his injuries as soon as possible. Sorry to trouble you. In the next 10 days, I will rely on your help for my daily life. I am not in good health, so I have to trouble you for everything. Sister Cai said that only when I recover from my injuries and my mood calms down, the combination can I have resumed my activities, so I ask my sisters to work hard and take care of and tolerate me in life and spirit. The atmosphere was somewhat condensed. I'm so hungry. Taoran looked at Feng Manman. I want to eat noodles. Yaya, go get a bowl of instant noodles for Kinkan. Feng Manman motioned to Pan Ya. Okay, Pan Ya is poor and has even shorter ambitions. In order to take advantage, Pan Ya does a lot of chores on weekdays. She usually does this kind of thing alone. No, I want to eat handmade noodles. So late. Feng Manman looked at the time, it was past 4 in the morning. The supper time has passed long ago, and breakfast hasn't been served yet. If you can't order takeout, just eat instant noodles. Wait until 7 o'clock and I'll order takeout for you. No, I mean, I want to eat the handmade noodles you made, Manman. Manman is from the north and makes good pasta. Is it good? It's not difficult to make noodles by hand, but it takes time and effort. I was frightened and just wanted to eat some delicious food that tastes like home. Over there, Duan Jiao and Yan Xiao, who were anxious and manic about money, almost said in unison, "Hurry up and go." They naturally found that Yechin today was very different from usual. Not only did his eyes change, but his whole aura also changed. For some reason, Yechin like this made them feel a little scared and uneasy. If a bowl of noodles could temporarily bring the five of them closer together and coax a little bitch like Yechin, they would be happy for it. Maybe with some coaxing, the crisis of 30 million can be resolved. Feng Manman had no choice but to bite the bullet and find flour. "We haven't had a drink for a long time, how about a few sips together?" Taoran raised his head and asked. "Duan Xiao, the company doesn't let us drink, have you forgotten?" "Yechin, but the company has cancelled all our activities for the next period of time, have you forgotten?" "I'm frightened and I have to calm down. Let's have some wine to relax." "Duan Xiao, but you are still injured. You can't drink." "It's just a skin injury." Taoran stood up, waved his hands in front of several people, kicked his feet, and jumped a few times. "I'm fine." Several people were stunned. "This bitch. Since you were fine from head to toe, why did you fall on them when you got off the car without knowing how to walk? Since it was a skin injury, why did she need so many of them to take care of her? Why did you stop the trip? So did the kidnapper. Why didn't he just destroy her slutty face? Despicable and shameless." Panya was the most angry and pointed at Yechin with her teeth. You lie. I thought you couldn't leave." So when Yechin returned to the apartment, it was Panya who carried her on her back and climbed up step by step. Carrying a person weighing nearly 100 pounds up 5 floors almost killed her. "You're going too far. Are you careful that I report you to Sister Cai?" "Go ahead." Taoran played with his hair, disapprovingly. Pena was speechless. Isn't the company's position clear enough? Now that Yechin is in trouble, in order to coax her, the company might just say that she did a good job. "If you don't plan to report me, please take good care of me. After all, we are all good sisters, and this is all the company's intention." Huh. "Thank you for the rewards from GXINGGGGGGGG, Gululu, Xiaoyu, moving my account and waiting for the baby to reward me. Moma, show your heart." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 19. At this time, Yan Xiao's phone started flashing again. Her complexion turned dark and it was Wan Yan calling again. She ran back to the room to answer the phone again. 30 seconds later, she heard the sound of banging and Yan Xiao's scream coming from the room. Taoran sneered. 2. When the persecution of 30 million yuan is really received, who can not go crazy? Duan Jiao and others also rushed into the house. 5 minutes later, Taoran received a message from Sister Cai, the hotel did not agree to 30 million. The most they are willing to do is increase the compensation to 3 million. This is the highest price, and if she still doesn't agree, there's no need to negotiate. As expected. Taoran glanced at the closed door of Yan Xiao's room, then composed a text message and sent it back to Sister Cai, tell the hotel, since there is no need to talk, let's not talk. See you at the police station tomorrow morning. Of those people, who should beg whom? Haven't you counted yet? This night, I was destined not to sleep. It's a long night, you should find something to do to pass the time, right? Taoran yelled at Yan Xiao's door, Do you want to drink more wine? 30 seconds later, the door opened. Yan Xiao's eyes were red, and she couldn't hide her hatred when looking at Yaqin. You four have been whispering to each other and avoiding me secretly. Are you isolating me? Taoran crossed his arms. If anything. We are all sisters, so there is no isolation. If you want to drink, of course we will drink with you. Duan Jiao suddenly started to think twice. Simply get this bitch drunk, and when she is confused, Sister Cai will come over to discuss compensation, and maybe she will get over it. I have beer over there. I'll drink it with you until you get drunk tonight. But I want to drink red wine. Taoran turned his head and said, Xiao, do you have red wine there? Yan Xiao's cheek twitched. She does. And because the company doesn't allow them to drink hard liquor, she is the only one in the entire apartment who has red wine. It was a collection of wines that were expensive but not marketable. When she participated in an event with the group, she deliberately used the group's name to buy it with great difficulty. She planned to give it to her grandfather on his 70th birthday. For a set of 6 bottles, the average price of a single bottle is nearly 20,000. This bitch wants to drink such good wine? What a big face. However, Duan Jiao and others stared at her at the same time and kept winking. Yan Xiao felt her chest was congested. She was going crazy, she was going crazy. Seeing Yan smile and not moving, Duan Jiao directly pulled her aside. Take it out. It's just a few bottles of wine, which costs about 100,000 yuan, and I can buy them later. Think about her claim, the price of this wine, it's just a drop in the bucket. Thinking of those 30 million, Yan Xiao's temples jumped again. She almost bit her lip and couldn't say a single word no. Stomping her foot, she finally turned around and went to get the wine. The wine boxes arrived, a set of 6 bottles with different vintages and flavors. Which one to drink? Whatever, I'm not picky, you know. Duan Jiao pushed Panya away, randomly picked a bottle of wine and opened it to wake up. Okay, Xiao is here to treat you today. Let's enjoy Yaqin's glory and have a taste of this collector's edition of good wine. Kinkan, this is Xiao's intention. You should drink a few more glasses. Taoran just smiled. Wait a minute Manman, the noodles should be ready soon. Now that everyone is here, it would be fun for the sisters to drink together. That's fine. Several people sat down individually. Soon, Feng Manman came over with a large bowl of handmade noodles. It smells so good. After spending the whole night, everyone was actually tired and hungry. Taoran looked around and saw that Feng Manman, who had been reluctant just now, was actually making the bowl of noodles with all his heart. Fried eggs, braised beef, and blanched vegetables are all delicious and delicious. As soon as this was served, not only the foodie Panya, but also Duan Jiao couldn't help but swallow her saliva. Sister Qin, eat it while it's hot. It won't taste good if it's lumpy. Feng Manman pushed the noodle bowl over. But Taoran got up and brought some sets of bowls and chopsticks. I can't enjoy Manman's cooking to myself. I can't finish all the noodles, so I can't waste them. Everyone stayed up all night just because of me, so you should be blessed to share them. As she spoke, she stretched out her chopsticks several times. She pushed 2 small bowls of noodles to Duan Jiao and Panya. Eat it while it's hot, it'll be lumpy in a while. Yan Xiao, who was absent-minded, also got a bowl. Duan Jiao smiled and cheered up the atmosphere. Thank you Kinkan. It's rare for Manman to cook in person, and we sisters haven't gotten together for a long time. Let's try Manman's cooking today. I haven't eaten carbohydrates for a long time, and I seem to have an appetite. I still have it today. There's wine and meat, let's be wild. Duan Jiao picked up the noodle bowl and took a sip of soup. Duan. Feng Manman was about to speak, but when she raised her eyes, she met Yaqin's cold eyes. She panicked and was stunned for a moment, then quickly lowered her head. not daring to look at him again. Tao Ran smiled and pushed another small bowl of noodles in front of Feng Manman. You are the hardest worker, eat more. Over there, Pan Ya had already eaten 2 large portions of noodles. Duan Jiao was praising her after taking a bite, and Yan Xiao, who was absent-minded, was also eating a few noodles. Tao Ran stirred the noodles and still stared at Feng Manman. Why don't you eat it? I'm not hungry. You've been tired all night, how can you not be hungry? Did you eat secretly in the kitchen and let us eat the rest? Or did you throw dirty things here to tease us? Tao Ran joked with a smile. If you don't eat it, I won't even dare to eat it. As soon as these words came out, the other 3 people who were eating almost stopped altogether, and then looked at Feng Manman. They saw Feng Manman's face turning red from suppressing her emotions. Although she denied it, they all understood the twinkling eyes and the hints in her eyes. Everyone was dumbfounded. What the hell? Just from Feng Manman's expression of eating shit, it's obvious that Yechin's guess is true. Damn it! It was too late for several people to regret. Also, Feng Manman must be full of resentment now that Yechin has snatched the role that she paid a huge price for. But Yechin still forced her to spend time making noodles. With her small belly and chicken intestines, could this noodles be eaten? A few of them were so anxious about the 30 million that they didn't even think of this. On the other hand, if there was no problem here, how could Feng Manman only make 1 bowl if it was about their relationship? Several people regretted it and looked at their noodle bowls at the same time, and then began to guess what Feng Manman had put in their noodles. Saliva. That's for sure. That's not right. How could something that Feng Manman even refused to eat be just saliva? Several people looked at each other and speculated again and again. Finally, 1, 2, 3, all started running to the bathroom. Tao Ran leaned back and pushed the noodle bowl out. I'm sorry. If you, Manman, even the chefs don't dare to eat, I certainly don't dare to eat it either. Of course, even if Feng Manman could bite the bullet and eat it, Tao Ran wouldn't eat it either. She is full. The reason for crying out for hunger was originally just to learn from each other. No, the purpose was achieved. The bathroom was filled with sounds of vomiting. Several people were still gnashing their teeth and shouting Feng Manman. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 20. Although Tao Ran had been sitting in the living room and didn't respond, it didn't mean that she was just sitting there. Just now the 3 people were talking in Yan Xiao's room, and Feng Manman peeked out to see her several times. She had already guessed what that guy was going to do. Just like those who peek at the answers during exams or secretly play with their mobile phones at work, they look at the invigilators and department heads much more often than usual out of a guilty conscience. How could there be no ghost? One of the most basic qualities of a good actor is the ability to observe. How could she not be aware of the frequent infestations of rats? After Feng Manman rushed into the bathroom, she heard a smashing sound coming from inside. Duan Jiao and the others were almost furious. What did they eat? If it was poisonous, would they have to rush to the hospital for gastric lavage? Feng Manman waved her hands repeatedly. It's not that serious. It's not poisonous, just an expired can of braised beef, a little bit of saliva and runny nose from me, and a handful of ashes from the sweeping robot, that's all. That's it? That's it? Several people vomited even more. Tao Ran, who had followed him to the bathroom door, happened to catch what he was saying, which made her extremely grateful for her wisdom. When the 4 of them came out of the bathroom, all of them were gray and discolored. What? That side is really dirty, Yechin asked in shock. No, it was because we had a bad stomach before. Oh. Then don't drink. Go to sleep. No. Duan Jiao was the first to sit back at the table, picked up the glass of wine and drank it. The other 2 people couldn't wait to find some alcohol to rinse their mouths and disinfect them. The most depressing person was Feng Manman, who was so thankless and had just been pinched several times by Duan Jiao and Yan Xiao. Feeling very angry, she sat back at the table and drank the entire glass of wine. Duan Jiao quickly adjusted her status. Yaqin was hateful, but the top priority was the money. If it's not done properly, sooner or later it will be blamed on them. They had just discussed it when they were in Yan Xiao's room. They must not be lenient at the wine table and must find a way to get Yaqin drunk. As long as she is drunk and unconscious, she can not only stop her from opening her mouth, but also be able to settle last night's matter as quickly as possible. Duan Jiao forced herself to calm down, put on a generous smile, signaled to the other people, picked up the wine glass and said, "Kinkan, we toast you with this glass of wine, it's a shock to you. I hope everything goes well for you in the future." Duan Jiao did it first as a token of respect. It's a really good wine, with rich fruity aroma and a mellow taste. It tastes good, Kinkan, please try it quickly. Several people praised it. Tao Ran picked up the wine glass, held it to his nose and took a whiff, but he made a look of nausea. "I have received everyone's blessings and kindness, but I'm sorry, I don't feel very well, so I won't drink." "What do you mean?" Yan Xiao couldn't bear it anymore and almost burst into tears. "Yaqin, are you kidding me? Although the set of wine only cost 100,000 yuan, it cost 200,000 yuan and there was no place to buy it. Although only one bottle was opened, since it is a set, if one bottle is opened, the set will not be complete, and the value of the remaining 5 bottles will be greatly reduced. It's so abominable." Tao Ran said calmly, "What are you talking about, Xiao? Your hat is too big for me to wear. I just asked you if you had any wine. I didn't say I wanted to drink your wine. It was you who took the initiative to invite the sisters to drink. The sisters all I've given you my face after drinking it, why do you have to lose your temper? You know I'm not in good health. Are you going to force me to drink it?" At this moment, Yan Xiao almost had the urge to rush forward and grab Huayakin's beautiful face at all costs. The 4 of them lost their wives and soldiers, and are they going to be bad guys in the end? And she, Yaqin, was jumping up and down, but she was still as high as a white lotus. "Yaqin, you've gone too far. Xiao, you misunderstood me." Tao Ran looked aggrieved. Who doesn't know how to pretend to be innocent and weak? When Yaqin was accused of spreading rumors and being bullied on the internet, didn't they all look like they were just trying to make ends meet? That's it? Where did you go? Can't stand it? Laughing, I was frightened and I really wanted to drink some red wine. But your wine is so good. I'm used to drinking cheap wine and I really can't drink your wine. After all, you know, I'm not in good health. And, such a good red wine is not suitable for drinking, it is too stomach-breaking. You are the same, if you drink on an empty stomach, if you drink it for good or bad, you will lose more than you gain. Speaking of hurting their stomachs, several others felt their stomachs burning again. After being reminded by Yaqin, and thinking about drinking for good, several people suddenly came up with a terrible guess: Yaqin must be suspicious of Feng Manman, so he didn't eat noodles. Then could she deliberately retaliate, or have the same thoughts as Manman, adding something to the red wine, so she decided not to drink it? It suddenly occurred to them that when they were sober here just now, they were all in the bathroom, and Yaqin was the only one in the whole living room. The nausea came back. Someone seems to be scratching my throat. Several people looked at the decanter, then at Yaqin. Yaqin couldn't help but laugh. What expressions there are! Are you worried that the reason why I don't drink red wine is because I spit in the red wine? Am I that kind of person? We are all sisters. It was still bearable not to say this, but when she mentioned the spit, and then looked at the circle of small bubbles on the wall of the decanter and the wine glass, they finally couldn't help it and rushed to the bathroom, vomiting again. Taoran looked at this group of people with disdain, they were so mean-spirited. She put nothing in the red wine. Firstly, it was because she was too lazy to move, but also because she knew that since she could discuss them without doing anything, why should she bother? When they came back, the resentment in their eyes was unstoppable, and the eyes they looked at Yechin were also sharp. Yechin, if you want to eat noodles, you have to let Manman make them, but after they are done, you say you won't eat them. You want to drink wine, laugh and talk to you, but you don't want to drink it. What misunderstanding do you have about us? That's why you are like this. Targeting us? You were not like this before. Why do you think so? We are all good sisters. It's not that I don't want to eat it, but that you all vomited after eating it. How could I still dare to eat it? I'm not used to drinking that wine, so I didn't drink it. You have to be considerate of my body. If I want to say it's weird, you guys are obviously weirder. Everyone was whispering to each other, sneaking around, closing the door and muttering several times. Manman didn't dare to eat her own noodles, Xiao kept hiding her cell phone, Duan Xiao and Panya even ran to the Xiao room again and again. Speaking of targeting, I even suspect that you are ganging up to target me. Do you have a problem with me and are you working together to deal with me? Several people stopped answering the phone for a while. Yechin is weird. But they are also guilty. They themselves lack the confidence to pursue this matter. TMD, so annoying. Yechin, you misunderstood us. Okay, I just want to ask, do you still have some wine? Don't you like this wine? As long as you nod, I'll buy the drinks. At this time, there are always convenience stores open 24 hours a day. I promised to calm your nerves. I'll buy the drinks. Duan Jiao took the initiative to show her kindness. Yaya, please take a trip. Pan Yat. Taoran smiled gently and agreed, let's get drunk and then rest. Several other people nodded quickly, you'll have to wait until you get drunk. Because of this sentence, Panya was asked to buy at least one box of wine.